Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. The final day of the High Point Racing GT Challenge. The curtain will come to a close tonight, and two championships still yet to be decided. We're here in the Ardennes forest around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. The infamous 7 kilometer circuit will host the final round of the championship. Myself, Adam Reed, will be in the commentary box. Jim Cunningham will be alongside me. He'll also be doing the broadcasting side. So it looks to be a very interesting round tonight, the final round as well to mention. Of course, there will be a small chance of rain, it seems like, but it does seem to be all clear for the moment as our drivers continue into qualifying and really try and pound around this beautiful, incredible fan favorite of a circuit. Drivers, fans in real life and sim racing all love this circuit. It is a staple, a pinpoint in every single calendar. No matter if you're in single seaters or GT racing, touring cars, the lot, it will be one of the staples in your calendar, and everyone will be very much gearing up for it. We now head in towards this final part of the qualifying. The sun will be setting around this circuit, and my word, do we have a super exciting hour of racing to go. But first of all, 20-minute qualifying session.
So good to be here with you, Adam. I appreciate you picking this up for me. Being that you're in the UK, this is pretty much in the middle of the night for you, about 2, 3 in the morning, something like that. I do appreciate that. I'll tell you what. Before we jump into the last few minutes of qualifying here, why don't we take a look at the circuit here at Spa and take a look at a track map.
Indeed, this European's absolute masterclass is being steeped in history. Gone are the days of the tightened Eau Rouge section and the Master Kink, and now we have 7 miles of forest beauty. And we look around here, starting the lap along that main straight. You head in towards La Source, try and get the best exit on towards the most famous corners in motorsport, Eau Rouge and Raidillon, an uphill blind fast corner. You take it upwards of 160 miles an hour as we head down the Campbell Straight and head in towards this sequence of corners, the Lecombe chicane, and then in towards Malmedy. An overtaking opportunity that will be very, very critical. Then you'll be heading down towards Bruxelles and on towards Speaker's Corner. This is all a downhill section, and you have to carry all the speed out of 9 because you then find here Double Gouge is coming up, or very much well known as Pouon. There they are in all of its digital glory, and we'll see it in sim racing glory. A fast section of circuit. Then we'll come into the Piff Paff chicane of 12 and 13. Just try and get the middle speed is how you're going to be getting the best out of that one. Then you're heading toward the most southern part of the circuit where we find turf 14 of Kerpool-Frere and Stabilo, and then you'll be heading all the way up the hill from turn 15 onwards. It is a blast at maximum of 180 miles an hour for our GT3 cars through Blanchemont, a very, very fast left-hander that you'll be keeping your foot pinned to as you head your way through 17, and then on towards the bus stop chicane, the biggest overtaking opportunity potentially on this circuit. It'll be a rough one, but if you can make it through 19 and 18 and 19, that is going to be a perfect lap there. And there are your 7 kilometers of the incredible, the majestic Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It is one not to miss. 1 hour of racing. Keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. You may be over in the States, you may be over in Europe, you may be over in the land down under in Australia. I know some of our drivers are here and they take to the circuit today, and already some lap times being inputted, and there is that very famous Eau Rouge and Raidillon that gets taken at about 150, 160 miles an hour. But my word, this is going to be absolutely stunning.
So, yeah, we've got, as you can, and I know you don't know a lot of the guys here. As you can see down here in the bottom, 3 purple sectors for Nathan Biggett. He is, he's pretty much dominated this season. He's your champion in the GT Pro category. Daniel Pino is joined the series later this season, and he's pretty much just as fast. They're pretty equal. But Nathan ran all the races this year and is going to end up being the champion in the GT3 category. But yeah, this is a phenomenal circuit. I was watching a video today by famous YouTuber Basic Ollie, and Ollie said, I don't know anyone that doesn't own Spa. If you sim race, you own Spa. It's just that kind of track, and arguably one of the most famous circuits in the world. It's a heck of a place. I love it. It's one of my favorite tracks. So
you just see the elevation there from the camera that you're showing. I've also been able to. I also had the privilege of commentating over Basic Ollie when he took his step into real life racing in the Enduro KA Championship. Yep, little 4KAs from about 2005. Joined Pro-Am racing. Took a couple of podiums.
Alton Park or?
Well. I believe he did take a win at Alton Park, but yeah, I covered his Donington round and then his round at Snetterton, so 2 of the UK circuits. That's absolutely superb in the UK, but not quite as good as the likes as your Silverstone and your Brands Hatch personally. Just to kind of throw that in there, but yeah, definitely Donington, top 3 UK circuits as well. There's plenty around the UK scene that I'm sure not many of our guys in here will be familiar with, but as someone who is lived and breathed the majority of the UK circuit. In fact, I think I've been to pretty much the majority, apart from Goodwood and Thruxton, are probably the 2 that I haven't properly been to. So maybe one to have a look through. Maybe at the end of this year, maybe start next year. We'll see how the plans go. But this is a big thing to mention here. Is the brand new Aston Martin GT3 Vantage Evo that has been delivered into iRacing for the first time. What an absolute spectacle it is, seeing that beautiful car, and I'm going to be very fortunate to see that later this weekend as the European Le Mans Series take to Silverstone Circuit for the first time since 2019. Get to hearing that growl of the V8 once again will be absolutely brilliant. That will of course not be the first time I've heard that growl over the course of this year. Heard it plenty of times around the UK. But yeah, you can see that number 65 out there looking so brilliant. I believe
that's Daniel Pino. Yeah, he's typically a Mercedes driver, so I guess he since there's no championship or anything on the line this week, I guess he decided to flip over and try the Aston Martin and see what he thought of it. He's a pretty loyal Mercedes guy, and really, really fast. We do 2 series for this league. The other one is a full-on IMSA series, and he dominated the GT3 section over there, driving the Mercedes. And he popped over here to have some fun and get some racing in with Nathan. And there's a couple other guys in this league that are pretty quick, and he wanted to come participate and have some fun with them. And so he came over, and yeah, he's been pretty loyal to the Mercedes. In fact, we asked him last week if he was going to flip to this car, and he said no, he didn't think he would. But so I guess he's going to give it a try. Oh,
that's not the best signs.
He won't like that. He won't like that feature in it. But no, he's like I said, I'm sure he's just having some fun driving the new car. And speaking of that, the new GT4 Mustang is here. I know we've got several guys driving that. I believe the GT4s are off the track already. They qualified first, and then that just finished up. They're finishing up qualifying now. But yeah, so I saw a couple of guys running around out there earlier in the new Mustangs for the GT4 class as well, and everything I've heard about them, they're supposed to be pretty quick.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they go, but I think that with two championships pretty much done and dusted, I think a lot of these drivers are taking their time to kind of go through the motions of a brand new car that's been added to iRacing only a couple of days ago. So it could definitely be used as a test session, especially if you don't have much on the line. If you're sitting maybe like seventh in your respective championship, you're not going to really care if you go a place higher or a place below. You're happy to maybe test a new car out. So that will be the end of the qualifying session. Whilst some drivers are still out there, I believe some have maybe just crossed the line as well to try and get one more lap in. You see that at the bottom there, the drivers closest to the line, quickest time so far in the GT3 class with 2:16.144 by surprise Nathan Biggett, who's been superb over the course of the season, really singing his praises aloud like a singing choir. So he'll definitely be a man on a mission, definitely want to potentially finish off the season on a high, but we'll have to see how this Triple Eight does as Justin Bott comes over the line. He can only muster up a third place. Ryan Bajole has only gone over the line, only P8 for him. And we just continue to scroll through and up towards Blanchimont. We talked about that in the track guide, how fast of a corner that was through the left-hander. You're really on the limit, as you can see just there, and that's Lake and Shore down in towards the bus stop chicane. It's a very, very tricky sequence, and if you are on the inside line trying to make a maneuver there, you have to be very, very bold, and you have to definitely let the car know that you're there. Can Lake and Shore improve his lap time? No, unfortunately. I think he will. I think he actually will improve 2:17.141, but that only keeps him in fourth place for the moment. But yeah, a superb end to this qualifying session. At the time continues to elapse, but I'm sure we'll be able to get a grid for you in just a moment for the final round of the High Points GT Challenge, which has been going on for the last 12 rounds, and we'll now be able to potentially get a grid for you.
Yeah, I think we're about to swap over here. iRacing's being a little slow this evening. I was kind of concerned that some people may have a hard time getting in tonight because the update for this session of iRacing that just came out was a huge, massive update. Some guys were saying it was taking them 2 hours to run the update. Mine was 116 gigabytes, which is a pretty large update. And luckily, I have pretty good upload and download speed, so I managed to get mine done in just under an hour. But there were guys last night, the league I do on Tuesday nights actually had to cancel the race because so many guys could not get the update finished in time. So, yeah, it looks like we do have a grid now here finally.
Absolutely. That's an interesting story. Of course, no cancellation of the race here, and it's going to be Nathan Biggett. He'll start on pole position with the Argentine of Hidalgo.
Yeah, I got to fix his name. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no worries. Justin Bock will start in P3 alongside Lake and Shaw, with David Steiner, the Australian, will be starting in 5th. Then we find Daniel Pino, the Chilean, who will be starting in P6 with Patrick Rich, who will be in 7th alongside the Canadian of Tristan Richard. Scott Petrone will be in P9 ahead of Ryan Pajole, who will be in P10. That rounds off the pros. And then we go into the Pro-Am for the GT3. It's Jed Kosserman. He'll be starting 11th alongside Kenneth Clodden, the two Americans on the 6th row of the grid. We move on to the 7th, where we find Jacob Kosserman and Tyler Richard. They will be on the next row ahead of Jared McKee and John Swan, the two Americans on that row. Then we find row 9, Brian Scott, ahead of our GT3 pole sitter, GT4 pole sitter, my apologies, of James Langvin and Mark Ogier, with Lance Campbell on the 10th row of the grid. Then we find the 11th row of the grid will be shared by Ryan Suralik and then Daniel Nance, with Cole Malley and Tyler Hammond. They will be on the 12th row of the grid. Then we find the next row being Edward Delano and Ryan Miller. And then on the back row of the grid, the 14th row of the grid, Christopher Coy and Aidan Killey, with rounding off our grid, Edward Delano, of course, our GT4 rookie, will be on pole there, 25th, and only 3 remaining. We'll see how this all pans out as the pace car begins to move forward and the season draws near. But of course, we do have a 1-hour race, so stay tuned, folks, and we move towards this final race of the season. The 5 red lights, I'm sure, will be going out very, very soon.
Yeah, this is it's going to be a fun race. There's still a few championships that are in question, and certainly some second and third places, podium type spots and stuff available. But I think for the most part, the pressure's off most of these guys tonight, and they're just going to be able to let their hair down and just have a good time, and not worry about points as much and things like that. So should be a lot of fun. We should see some good aggressive racing. To be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised. There's a couple of mix-ups there at the top. Daniel Pino would usually be qualified in the top 2 or 3, but he's in that new car, and he seems to be a little off the pace running that Aston Martin right now. We'll see if it comes to him as the night goes on. And Lakin Shaw, that's a really good qualifying spot for him. And Thomas Hidalgo, that's a fine qualifying effort from Hidalgo as well. Yeah, I'm really, it's going to be a fun one tonight. I'm glad to have you along. This is actually kind of a small grid for this field, last race of the season, is week 13 of iRacing. It's, I think a few guys skipped, but I think we're about ready to get going here.
We are indeed. We'll get onto that in a later stage, but to the main kind of action here, we wait for the lights on the gantry to go out. There they are. Lights are out. We go green here at Spa, and in towards the first corner is going to be the Ford Mustang with that inside line. The BMW will try and maneuver towards that outside line, but a twitch there from the Ford Mustang. Now see the BMW be able to carve its way around the outside, too wide in towards the La Source and in towards the Raidillon and Eau Rouge. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes well, and it indeed does here. Now we get the big draft, we get the big slipstream here. The Ford Mustang now looks to be able to pull out to the right hand side. Collision in the back as well. That looks like a BMW's rear wing that has been in the Armco barriers. They head their way through on towards Lecombe and Malmedy. It seemed to be the BMW out in front. They head their way down in towards Bruxelles as well, and they start to become a line astern. I believe the Argentine is out in front on this part. But wow, a fantastic start there.
I believe that car that was involved in the background might have been Ryan Bajole, and if that's the case, he is he's battling for second place in the
move here. Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry there, Jim, to cut you off here, but the Ford Mustang has got a bit of a run here with the BMW. It just sided wide there, almost like there was no grip on the car, and they turned their way through the Piff-Paff chicane, and they're really trying to fight this already. Opportunities are plenty on this opening lap, but you've really got to be careful about where you decide to do it. And look at the McLaren as well. There's always been just sitting there, but it's starting to fall back against the these more muscular cars, the bigger cars, the McLaren more made for the kind of aerodynamics. But then you got Lakin Shaw there in his BMW in behind. And I do believe that may be a potential overtake. But look at that wide moment there for Biggert in the Ford Mustang, and the McLaren will have a go on that outside line. But already we're now seeing Pino, the Chilean, trying to get in on the action here in the Aston Martin Vantage. Side by side they go over the line, and this action is far from done.
Yeah, I think, well, we'll see. Pino's going to get more and more comfortable in that car. As I would venture to guess, he probably does not have a lot of laps in it. So we'll see how that goes through for the evening. But he's typically pretty fast. So Hidalgo, though, kind of putting it on Nathan Biggert here for this first lap or two. I think Nathan seems to be struggling getting those tires warmed up on that Mustang a little bit more than that BMW is.
Yeah, indeed. Hidalgo, of course, had that inside line for La Source into turn one, so we'll have looked pretty open in that one. Really tried to attack it and managed to get the place. So you almost lost it in towards Pouron as well, which could have become very costly, but just managed to defend against the Ford Mustang now for Nathan Biggert, who knows how pacey he is. Of course, the championship already secured up for him, and sealed with a bow tie. Definitely seems to be.
I'm gonna go back and see what happened with Jolet. Oh my goodness, yeah, that was a big shot there for him. That's unfortunate. He's currently second or third in the points. I'll have to look. I typically don't keep up with that. Usually Hamish does, but yeah, that could be a problem with his finishing order in the points this season. He's one of the battles that's still up there.
Indeed. Sorry to cut you off there, but yeah,
no,
Ryan Bergerlet currently sitting third with 3,190 points. So kind of using the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship points layout in this one. Here is David Steiner in his BMW. So plenty of BMWs about the place here, but look at the Porsche with Rich there. He's just kicking with himself in good tow there, but the 4-litre inline boxer car is looking pretty aggressive. Speaking of aggressive, here comes Pino up the inside in his Aston Martin Vantage. So already getting a good test out of that Aston Martin. The durability already starting to be pushed to its limits as well, but it's getting pretty feisty up at that front end of the pack, even in the kind of midfield part, because remember the Pro-Ams are also sitting with them as well. Claudette, who is looking to wrap up the title battle in his in the Pro-Ams, as he currently leads with a decent margin. I think that is a championship battle that is not quite over just yet. 2,604 points to Brian Scott's 2,484. Of course, Brian Scott now currently sitting in fourth place in his McLaren, so same manufacturer for the two championship battlers, but with Claudine out in front, he just needs to stick there, apply no further pressure on himself that he already has on him, and just maintain a light, cool head to be able to get this over the line. But I do believe we now switch back here to our GT4s, and this is Lance Campbell in the GT4 AMS. He is up against the BMW M4 GT4. Absolutely caped in the Bilstein livery that was run by Jimmy Broadbent, Steve Brown, Manuel Metzger, and Misha Sheridan for the last 24 hours of Nürburgring. Unfortunately, that BMW does get dispatched pretty easily. Lance Campbell on an absolute run here, and he's got Suralek just in front of him in that brand new Ford Mustang GT4. How well will that be running at this moment in time? Of course, I don't think used very much. It was used in the British GT Championship a couple of years ago, but that was only the base version. I think now more is being used in the US and maybe, I believe, in the GT4 European scene a little bit more, but yeah, this is kind of what you would see mainly in the States. But yeah, getting a lovely eye view camera, cockpit camera we go with Suralek, and he's just got to now keep defending his position. I think a lot of these drivers want this to be a nice boring race, don't you think?
Yeah, probably so. I clicked to the inside of the car and turned the volume up a little bit for everybody so they can hear what this new Mustang sounds like. For a GT4 car, it sounds pretty good. So I thought I'd give them a little taste real quick of what it sounds like from the in-car camera. And of course, Campbell there, who's making a move on him right now, is your GT4 champion this season. I think that's already done and dusted. So, but it's interesting to see these two battle. They battled all season, and they've had some really good battles. It's fun to see Cerulean in the new Mustang, see how that goes. I think a lot of people are going to be driving that car. From everything I've heard, it's going to be pretty competitive until they bop it, in the GT4s.
Indeed, it will be. Of course, looking at the GT4 rookies class, Edward Delano is chasing Carl Sierra in that little title battle. And we get a wonderful VR experience here with Edward Delano in his Ford Mustang GT4. So yeah, pretty popular car is the Ford Mustang GT4. I think that may have maybe a championship kind of to do with the GT4s potentially as well. So expect kind of a one spec series, maybe iRacing to get something going with those.
Well, I heard they were going to do the Mustang, the Dark Horse Challenge or whatever they were going to call it, and have a GT3 and GT4 Mustangs running together in a championship. That's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, V8 beauty. Oh, that's going to be amazing if they can get that going as well. Yeah, you can just have a look at the camera there as well. That's absolutely brilliant there. Aiden Killy is run into a bit of
no big deal.
There wide into that was wide into La Source. So of course, Jim, you would have had a kind of a notification come up because of course he was running a little bit slow into that corner.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've done that myself. So yeah, so I'll pop back here real quick. It looks like Kenneth Culloden. Right as I got here, he decides he's going to do a little half spin there for us, and he was leading the Pro-Am category, and that drops him back to third. Now he is falling behind Jed Cotterman right here in the beautiful pink GT3 Mustang. As most of you know that watch the series regularly, Jed is kind of in charge of the GT Challenge Wednesday night league, and he could have easily had some championship hopes himself this season. He struggled a little bit with some consistency. He would be running up front and have a little issue every now and then and stuff like that, and it kind of bit him throughout the season, but he's really fast for sure. And I don't know what that's a new pink livery he's running there. I don't know if that's well, that's next month. I was gonna say it might be breast cancer awareness here in the United States. We do that in October, and we run a lot of pink liveries for that. But maybe he's doing that a little early or something. Good looking car though.
Yeah, it is. I was just wondering if there was a couple of teeth at the front. Is that a Roxy redesign potentially?
It could be.
You know, the side.
It could be.
It doesn't quite. I think like where you see the whites, like right at the bottom, just above the splitter. I was thinking if that's teeth, but then you look at the sides and there's kind of no little arms.
No little
side of it.
Look, he's got his. He must have the broadcast on. Well, I'll get off of him then because he'll blame me later for jinxing him or something. But here comes Kenneth Culloden back on Jacob Cotterman. By the way, I should mention there's Jacob. That's Jed's son, and he's really improved over the season as well. Man, Culloden is he's back on the move again. Obviously, Culloden's fast. He's up there. Potentially going to be the Pro-Am champion this season. Obviously, Brian Scott is still within catching distance of him there.
Indeed, and Brian Scott will potentially be looking to maybe overtake both Jacob and, of course, Clotterman and Clodden. So he'll have to really go on the push here to potentially try and get through. But, you know, how easy of a situation will that be, especially if you have noticed the sun is starting to duck behind the clouds, and that's a big old move there from Clotterman, trying to off-put the McLaren of Clodden, and unfortunately for the green McLaren, yeah, it just didn't quite work that time around. Kenneth was wise to what was going on. Just maintain his racing line, maintain his braking point. Didn't try anything out braking, but just managed to keep it within the realms of the racetrack, and really good stuff there from both drivers. Of course, Cotterman will just continue to push on here as he heads his way in towards Pouhon, just trying to keep it nice and smoothly with the steering wheel. But I think with Clodden, he will have that little fire in his belly just because of that incident he had earlier on with, I believe it was one of the Porsches. So you're looking around about 6th in that GT3 Pro class.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Rich is he's really came on late in the season here, and he certainly has found some pace later in the year. I was about to pop back up here. It looked like they were getting a little feisty up here at the front for a second, but it's still Hidalgo over Biggard here. It's I don't know that I've seen Nathan stay in second place this long all season. he's usually one to be out front.
He is definitely, for sure. We saw that last time I covered this championship,
yes,
back at Oulton Park. He was right out in front, long way, almost like he was showboating.
Well, that was the race, if you remember. The reason you remember him is not because he was running up front. He started in the back and was working his way through the whole field, and he spun the car like 3 times at Oulton Park and did not win that race. One of only 2 or 3 that he didn't win all year. And he really struggled there after he started in the back. He was pushing the car really hard and was getting close to getting up to the front every time, and then he would self-spin. And that was one of his worst outings of the year, actually. But the reason you remember him is because he was flying through the field.
Yeah, that's probably a lack of judgment on my memory. So
no, that's quite a few broadcasts between now and then. Looks like something happened to Ryan Cerulik here. Yeah, that's not. No. Yeah, who was that got into him?
The Bilstein livery. No, I don't quite have a name on it, but
yeah.
The BMW Bilstein livery.
Was it Daniel Nans?
I don't think it was Daniel Nans. It was, actually. Well done on that one, but let's have a look. Because Daniel Nans just went for the gap there.
It was Nans, yeah. It was Daniel Nans. Yeah, that's a tough send right there. I don't know if he thought he had that gap or if he just drove it in there a little deep. Oh no, he thought he had the gap. Well, he had his fender alongside. I don't know. That could go. You could view that several ways, I guess. Really.
Yeah, you absolutely could, and I wouldn't want to be the judge
of
that one. Yeah, neither of us want to be the judge in that one. Meanwhile, Jed Clotterman is trying to just move his way past, I think, one of the Porsches in the GT3 Pro category, of course, leading the way in the Pro-Am, and he wants to go that extra bit further, trying to get past the Porsche in front of him. Not entirely sure who that is, but looks like a Rich there. Rich, I think
it's Scott Patron, I believe. Yeah, Scott Patron.
Sorry, yeah, you're right on that one.
I don't
Two
know how.
Porsches
I
out
don't know
here.
how this guy does not run. He's running a monster livery. How is this guy not running a Patron Tequila livery? With a name like that, man, you got to have a Patron Tequila livery. It's one of my favorite liveries anyway. That same black and lime green kind of color scheme, but Patron. I mean, I would absolutely be running it if I was him, but that's another story. But yeah, Jed's running pretty strong here. Last week, Jed at one point I think had it up to third place overall in GT3s, not just in the pro-ams. He was in third overall at the end of the race and literally ran out of fuel on the last corner of the race. He's going to hate me for talking about that again, especially if he's listening. But yeah, that was a tough break for him there.
Yeah, expect to, if he is still listening to the broadcast, we do have a camera on him. Expect a little birdie as well.
Yeah, no, right.
To the camera as well.
Right. He's probably too nice of a guy to shoot me the bird, but he's certainly thinking it for sure. There's Pino trying to put a move on the outside of Rich here. That's a tough play. That's a tell you what, that is a tough move to do in a car you don't know very well. To outside, to know how well that thing's going to hold that grip like that. That is a tough move to do in a car you just started driving tonight.
Indeed it is. And, oh my goodness me, I think that was Patrick Rich, who was very, very close to taking out the Aston Martin, but just kind of corrected that turn in. Something also to know, Lance Campbell is in the pit lane, I believe, with a black flag to his name. So he is dropped from
my goodness,
the GT4 lead.
Well, we got slowdowns all over the place too.
All the way down to P5 as well. But yeah,
Campbell crashed. By himself? Oh no! No, this where he entered pits, but it said he crashed. I guess because he went slow. What? I don't. Wonder what he would have. What would he have had a black flag for? Not incidents already.
Potentially track limits?
Oh no, he's making a pit stop, so I don't know. That's okay. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. All right. But something that we did miss, or I missed, and I just got to find it here in the in all of these words. Here, a second, and I will bring you up something that'll be interesting. Here we go. A pass for the lead.
Wow, Nathan Biggett's apparently had a chance for the lead here, and in towards this right-hander. Dip on the gravel there for the Argentine, and Nathan Biggett just basically went straight through. Opened the door wide open. Through you go. Mr. Championship winner. And Nathan will be absolutely homing in on that checker flag, albeit he has 40 minutes to survive that. 1.3, sorry, not 1.3, I think maybe a little bit less of the margin in that one.
Yeah, but, a quarter of a second. There, let me go back up here. I mean, they're running right together. I'm pretty sure he hasn't heard the last of Hidalgo before the night's over. This Hidalgo guy is fast, man. I'm thrilled to see him in here. And what's weird is we've had some, interesting stuff. I see that Mustang going into the pits there. That was Cerulean, I believe. There's a couple of those new guys out there, and they're running similar liveries because there's not a lot of liveries out there for these brand new cars that just came out yesterday.
Indeed.
But yeah, let's see quick if I can figure out who's in. I guess they're just starting to pit. We're at only 20 minutes in. That would be early, but I guess maybe some people are just taking some chances on pitting, I guess.
I believe so on that one, but I think there might be a potential move on here because here comes Thomas Hidalgo. He's right on the bumper of the Ford Mustang, and it looks like he'll just have to back off on that one. Meanwhile, the McLaren of Bock will just join in this battle.
Yeah,
Hello, Justin Bock. What a good overtake there, and smart driving. I think there was also a little bit of pushing as well from Justin. and he's now moved himself into the conversation for the lead of this race with about less than 40 minutes to go left of this one. Justin Bock will just continue to run his way down the hill and in towards Pouin through the left-hander and just try and see if he can pick up anything. But I really do think that Spa will be, to a certain degree, better suited for like the Ford Mustang and the BMW. But now with the GT4 getting in front here, look at that gap opening up to a second for Hidalgo. He'll be very, very miffed at that one. But looks like Justin Bock will absolutely be delighted. He'll be smelling the exhaust fumes off the back of that BMW. But look at this on the run. Even with the tow for the McLaren, he'll still be just sitting thereabouts. But you just won't be able to be close enough to make the move. Maybe in towards La Source might have to be the next point in line here, unless he can go in towards the bus stop. But I think on this one, it's just a closing in on the brakes.
The problem is when you're driving a car that's a little off power, like the McLaren is to the BMW and the Mustang. The problem is that you've got to make it up somewhere, and the place you have to make it up is under braking, and that can get really dangerous really fast. You've got to be later on the brakes and harder, and that just sets you up for the potential to make a mistake. Just to try to stay in touch with these guys with these higher horsepower cars. Justin's done a really fine job all year in that McLaren. Obviously there are certain tracks that suit the McLaren better. This one is a pretty high horsepower, low downforce kind of track, and so it's going to be suited to these bigger engines like the Mustang and the BMW have. But as you can see, he's driving it on in there with the tow and the braking. He's staying right with them.
He is indeed. He also tried to get that McLaren filling up the mirrors of the Ford Mustang, very similar to the real life racing. Oh, he's going to have a spin there for Justin Bock, saves it, but that will drop him down to third, and it looks like Shaw, the Canadian, will take that third spot away from him, and Justin will just be sitting there thinking, well, that mistake is going to be very, very costly. Laker Shaw will be looking at that thinking, there's a podium on offer for me. Thank you very much. BMW 2-3 in this scenario. And I wonder if Laker Shaw can even close on this little tussle. But Hidalgo has opened that gap up to 1.5 seconds. Not in his favor, but in the favor of the championship winner.
Yeah, I'm going to jump back here, and we've got Cole Malley also driving. Oh, my goodness. Cole Malley is dressed to go to the spa. Look at him. He is absolutely dressed up for the spa. I'm not sure if he realized that we were going to be at Spa, the track, and not at a, Roman hot tub or something. But either way, he's clearly dressed well for the spa. You got to love Cole Malley. He's taken over the lead in the GT4 category, and he's running that new Mustang as well. So that's a new car for him. Good to see all these guys trying the Mustang out, which you knew was gonna happen, of course.
Indeed, for Cole. When you have a Spa race at 9. But a Spa manicure at 10. You'll, I'm sure, be enjoying that one at a later stage as he heads into La Source in his wonderful Ford Mustang GT4. And I'm sure he'll be absolutely cruising in his current position. That's currently being first in the. Sorry, that looks like.
Uh-oh.
In the GT4 category.
Yeah,
we had a collision here. Daniel Pino is dropped off to the side here, and wow, that was something I've never seen before. Is something broken on his sim rig, I wonder?
It's got to be something like that. Yeah, let's. I'm gonna go back.
That was
and see.
Let's get out of here.
I don't.
So let's have a look at this. Patrick Rich right behind the Aston Martin, and then just couldn't get the exit. So He's there side by side. Up the hill he goes, and then just slam on the brakes and call it a day.
Yeah, something had to be going wrong there. Who knows? I don't know if he runs in VR or but if he had a monitor issue or a VR issue or something like that, maybe. Oh, hang on. Cole. Hang on to it, buddy. You can end up in the spa quicker than you think. Man, look at all the slowdowns all over the board here. Gee whiz, these guys are all over the place here. So our battle up front has kind of distanced itself out just a little bit. I think some of that GT4 traffic played a part in that. But this battle here is still going on pretty strong with Culloden and Cotterman. In fact, it's real strong right now.
Down towards the bus stop chicane. It looks like Lake Shore.
Oh, they're all pitting.
Into the pits, and Cotterman clodding both the Cottermans as well, the father and son duo, into the pit lane and onto the jacks they go to change the tyres and get a fresh batch of fuel as well to fuel themselves for the remaining 32 minutes of this race. Meanwhile, our two leaders will continue out here, and I think Hidalgo has made a mistake. Look at the time. That is extending and extending and extending. That was that's bad. Awful mistake. And look at that. He's out. He's out of this race. Is Thomas Hidalgo, and the Argentine. Has he planted in the barriers? We'll get this a bit of a slow-mo here. Stay with this.
No, that was him stopping. Let's see.
That being either
did he run out of gas? Oh, see, one of the tricks that Nathan Biggett is so good at, he's fast, but he saves fuel the entire time he's racing. And if Hidalgo is not as proficient at saving fuel and tried to stay with him on that extra lap, it might have bit him in the butt right there, because I think that's what happened. So let me see here. Yeah, I got to believe that's what happened. I believe he ran out of gas. Because Biggert, I was just about to say, right when you said, oh, he's dropping down the board, was that Biggett's doing his normal thing, which is he always does an extra lap because he's so good at saving fuel that he always runs an extra lap on everybody, always. So he gets that lightning fast lap in when the car's ultra light on fuel, and so that's really common for him. So I guarantee you that's what happened. Hidalgo probably tried to stick with him and wasn't as proficient at saving fuel as Nathan is.
Yeah, so kind of.
That's not good.
Nathan, that was a cut of the white line.
That's going to be a penalty, right?
Yeah, usually that would have result in a penalty. I'm not entirely sure what the league rules would say, but it's
either going to be a 40-second hold or it's going to be a stop and go.
It would be one of the two, I assume. But Nathan Biggett.
I don't see a. Hold on. Let me see here. Go back to live. Oh. He does not have a. Yeah, he does have a black flag up. Look. Isn't that a black flag? Yeah.
That is. Yep. Yeah, that's a black flag.
Yep. He's being held in pits. So let's see. Let's see if I can get it on him real quick. Yep, he's being held in the pits. So that's going to be a 40-second hold. That ought to make the race interesting. That's giving Lincoln Shaw the lead now.
So Tyler Richard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tyler Richard Tristan Richard, my apologies.
Yeah, Tristan Richard, yeah. Well, I'll say Richard. It's probably Richard since he's Canadian. It's probably Richard. We've actually had that debate. Tyler and Tristan, they're both, I think it's brothers, I believe. I believe it's brothers. And so we're going to say Richard since I don't know any better.
We'll go with that analogy for now, and hopefully Tristan
So
can
has
confirm at a later date.
wow, this is there's just all kinds of interestingness going on. Why is Patron not showing up in the scoring? Right? Is he not?
There
Is
he
he
is.
not?
He's second.
Okay, he just popped in there. Oh, that was so weird. Okay, okay, never mind. Don't mind me.
Don't mind
I
you.
probably shouldn't have had all that Patron. Oh no, what?
Before Tim gets in any form of extra trouble, I'll kind of take over for a little
Yes,
bit.
that's right.
Scott Patron is currently running second place at the minute. Lakin Shaw has had a super run, and he's taken the lead for now. We'll have to see what the rest of the pack is looking like, because Ryan Pujole sits in third place. However, he's got Tyler Richard there, 1.7 seconds behind him as well.
Nathan is currently about 40 seconds off the lead.
Sorry, can I interrupt? Look
Yes.
at the GT4 rookies. Look at the GT4 rookies. How many black flags do you want there, guys?
Oh my goodness, every one of them. Delano.
All of them.
Every single one of them. Oh well, unfortunately, Coy's is his is a meatball black flag, so that's really bad. Actually, that's a meatball and a black flag he's got. I've never actually seen Christopher Coy's picture. You want to talk about a guy who looks like a banker? Holy cow! Look at this guy, would you? He looks like a guy that would do your financial planning for you. Yeah. So we got Kelly in here with he's had a rough evening or Kylie, excuse me, Aiden Kylie. He's had a rough night, several incidents. I haven't bothered to show. I didn't want to beat a dead horse there. And then Delano, who's still leading, but he's got a black flag he's got to serve. I'm guessing, I don't know what that would be for. I guess incidents. Wow. What a hot mess.
Yeah, it might be instance on that one. I'm not entirely sure, but it could also be potentially that track limits as well. How we saw Nathan Biggett go over those white lines, and then we did have track limits are also in place as well. So I just wonder if that was maybe a part of it. That looks like a slowdown there for Hidalgo. Is he still in this race?
He is. He's back out. So. Yeah, he's back out on the track, I believe. Yeah, he
must have got.
Well, because I think he was out of fuel. So, once he towed back, I think his car was fine, It's just, but the thing is, he's not that far behind Biggert right now. He is, but, they're both way down the field for two guys that were running up front, and they're both so fast with 25 minutes left. The question is, can they make up enough time to get back up to the front?
That's kind of the question.
I would say it's probably going to be tougher for Hidalgo because he's another, quite a few seconds back. It looks like, it looks like Nathan is about 40 seconds behind the leader here. So in theory, I don't know. That's a tall order in 25 minutes.
It will be very much so. So we'll have to keep an eye on those two. So the front row of the GT3 Pros very much running into a big amount of problems.
Right.
Over the course of the last 10 minutes, I assume, Lakin Shaw has had very little problems in his BMW M4 GT3. By contrast, leading by 18 seconds over the course of this one. Scott Padrone, of course, still sitting in second there. So still a lot up for debate for sure.
Something I didn't think about, this BMW got an update as well in this latest this latest update on iRacing. They have updated this one to the Evo model now, so it's had some changes to it. I think mostly cosmetic, but it also got an update. So this is a new looking car as well.
Indeed, it did get kind of a retouch. The aero package improved for the Evo. Meanwhile, in towards Pool, that's a brave move there, Davis Steiner, and he has managed to pull through there on the Monster Energy car of Nathan Biggett there. A big move in the contrast of that little tussle, but it kind of just pounds down on the Ford Mustang of Nathan Biggett's kind of a test and trial through the pack here, but yeah, he's having to drop a position there, and it does seem like Steiner is really on the push as Tyler Richard, the Canadian, really tries to push on here, but
it's the other one
behind it.
It's Tristan. It's the other Richard.
Yes, it is. Well done, the Canadian, of course, who we put on as, well, labelled Tristan Richard in this one. Looks like the BMW of Steiner is going defensive, but not to attack the McLaren either, staying tight that inside line. And now the Ford Mustang will see if he can potentially get an exit, but they just seem to be a bit stuck with each other, trying to find a way to pull forward and in towards this right-hander of last sort of one moment there from the BMW, but he'll try and get the traction down, but it's not quite as simple as he flicks up loads and loads of gravel on his way through, and I think Bigger just not quite getting the same toe that he would hope for behind that McLaren. And Richard will now pull a little bit forward there, up to 0.7 of a second. But with these kind of front-engined big cars, they'll now pull towards that McLaren slowly but surely. There it is coming into view. But by the time they have maybe got to a stage where they could maybe gain a little bit more, of course, we have the chicane coming in where the McLaren does fly. But speaking of flying, here comes Steiner trying to look through that inside corner of Malmedy, spots the gap, decides, yeah, I don't want to end my race a bit too early in this one. Still Cotterman from Cotterman in the GT3 Pro-Am, so that one will be wrapped up by Kenneth Clodden if this all stays like this for now. If they continue to have a slow kind of race bit.
This is, he's pitting again. Okay. Why is it? It always is showing me he's crashing, but he's not crashing. He's just pitting. So this is Justin Bach again.
Spin, yeah.
Right there, coming out. Yeah, well.
Oh, and he's reversing to the pit lane. I wonder if
that could.
GT4, I wonder if that GT4 was potentially wants to go into the pit lane, because by the headlights, it might seem like you're trying to turn into the pit lane. He saw the McLaren and thought, yeah, not quite my time there, as it looks like he will go straight on past on that one. But yeah, Justin not having the best of nights.
Yeah, it's I mean, that is such a spot right there to spin it at Spa. And speaking of that spot, here we are again. Oh!
A bit of contact between the two.
The rear end stepped out on Steiner there pretty hard in that BMW.
It did. I think just too much boot full of throttle come exit of the bus stop chicane. And I think that Tristan Richard will now just have to try and push on down the road. But let's have a look and stay with this battle, because we know how powerful that BMW with the V6 turbo behind it, well, I should say under the bonnet, would be the best answer in that one. I think also a slowdown for Tristan Richard in that McLaren. Will the BMW be able to go for a move this time around? It's 0.2 of a second. No, he's going to lift off and save a little bit of fuel, and that BMW will just have to sit in behind once again. But it gets a really good run here through the comms and in towards Malmedy, not in towards Malmedy they go. That's Bruchel.
Wow.
But yeah, he got a good run through that chicane section.
He managed to get rid of that slowdown and keep those guys behind him. And both of those guys are really fast. Obviously, we know how fast Biggert is, but David Steiner's really fast as well. And he managed to dispose of that slowdown and keep them behind him. That is quite impressive.
It is, yes. That is going to be a big moment there for the race in terms of the view of the Canadian having to hold these much bigger, kind of more grumbly cars that will be able to outpace the McLaren down the straight. But look at the toe that Nathan Biggert is picking up. He'll be absolutely flying with this one, but can he seem to maybe pop that Ford Mustang into a space that is open for him? Not too sure on this one, because I think the BMW is going to now try and find that inside line here, exactly what he does. Who will be later on the brakes? I think the McLaren will just try and force him into that inside line, but outbreaks himself as well. They're still side by side out of orders. They once again, rear goes there on David Steiner, and will now be under pressure from the American, the Aussie from down under. Would have really hoped to have made that once again, but again, just too excited on the throttle. And I think that's some good learnings as well. But the Australian, in fact, now gets absolutely dumped by the Ford Mustang this time around. So would have tried to again on the McLaren out of the bus stop chicane, but is now being overtaken by the Ford Mustang, who's going to be a whole different ball game compared to McLaren. Completely different.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see here what Biggert's going to do. He was really sitting back there. It seemed like kind of conservative for him. I mean, maybe he just decided he didn't want to push it that hard or whatever. But see, here he goes. Yeah, this is more the way he typically drives right here. He doesn't wait behind people very long, which is, I was just kind of shocked that he was back there as long as he was. I do want to go up here and take a look at this Collard and Cotterman battle for a second. Not only the fact that they're still battling, and they have been the entire race, but they have worked themselves up to P3 and P4 overall, and they are Pro-Am drivers, not pros. And they are now currently running in third and fourth overall, and have been absolutely battling the whole race.
They have been, and it's been really entertaining to see these two go at it. But I think it's been gentle jabs for the past kind of maybe half an hour. You kind of have that slight aggressiveness at the start of the race where you're trying to make the most positions, and then you get kind of given these opportunities, maybe before that 10th minute or 15th minute, you just see if you can try and take them. But then you realize in yourself that you have to try and get yourself into a bit of a rhythm, maybe go for a move, maybe not, just hang back and just follow the car. But now you're finding yourself in those last 15 minutes, which you've just ticked over to. Really try to, yeah.
And I think you wonder how hard is Culloden really going to push here. He still is, the championship is technically still up for grabs, and he doesn't want to throw it away by, trying to make up one additional position, in class, when, he's still got the big picture out there of all the championships. His is the one that is the closest battle left, So I think maybe he's probably not 100% pushing, not to take anything away from Jed, certainly, but I think Culloden's more than happy to ride right there in second place in class and fourth overall and win this championship tonight.
Exactly, that's what he'll be hoping for to kind of wrap up that GT3 Pro-Am title. Meanwhile, we have a look at there goes the backmarker car. Nathan Biggert now runs up into fifth in, completely ditched that battle of Steiner and Richard, because he's now almost 3 seconds down the road. Meanwhile, these two will continue jostling it out whilst the championship winner, we should say now, has completely run down the road like it's a sprint race rather than a marathon in towards the downhill section and the bottom. I like to call the southern part of the circuit. I think just because it's when you really look at the circuit, you see kind of the Camel Straight and Eau Rouge and Raidillon up kind of the north end of the circuit, and then the complete bottom is that section exactly like that. You see that section where the two green cars are going through at the bottom of your screen. Yeah, that's why I call it the most southern part of the circuit, even if it's not quite right in like the north, south, east, west direction. That's kind of why I call it the southern part of the circuit. But yeah, David Steiner continuing to try and get himself on that rear of the McLaren once again, because he definitely is sizing up a move here. I think he just wants to kind of wrong his rights from the bus stop chicane that he's done the past 2 times when trying to go for a move. But he might be able to get a run here on towards the Camel Straight. He's got the slipstream, he's got the grunt of the engine compared to the aerodynamics of the McLaren. And when he finds himself in that slipstream, he should just close up here. There it's 3 tenths. Then we'll drop to 2.5 tenths. Will he drop to 2 tenths just like that is done? 10.5. Will he move out? No, he backs off. Fuel saves as well, so he's actually now just using Tristan Richard as a kind of a car with slipstream to just save fuel when he can, because he is trying to get that car to the end of the race, but he was tacked down into Bruxelles, see if he can upset the kind of the momentum of that McLaren and try and pull ahead. But it looks like Richard is not playing any form of silly games this time around and will just hold out his position. The Canadian against the Australian, that's been a pretty feisty battle all throughout this one.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know that fuel saving is what's happening here. I honestly think we know the BMW and the Fords have a little more power than the McLaren right now, but the one thing that the McLaren is absolutely brilliant at is braking. The car is phenomenal at braking. It's incredibly stable with that mid-engine. So I really believe that he is having a hard time getting around Richard in those spots, like coming up into Lacombe there, because he can't outbrake him. He can run him down on the straightaway, but then Richard just waits and brakes so much later that there's nothing that Steiner can do in that big heavy BMW. I really believe that's the issue here. Because if you look at whenever he closes up on him, and so Steiner's trying to use the power to make a move on him, and that's where he keeps like getting the rear end stepping out on him, because he's trying to get on the gas as fast as he can to utilize that BMW's power. But I believe under braking that McLaren is so much better.
Yeah, we'll have a look at it again one more time, because look how close the BMW is on the run to Eau Rouge and Raidillon. This time it's a little bit closer due to the mistake of Tristan Richard, and you can see how much that gap is closed up here. But you can see it's just kind of extending. It's just slowly extending, and I think that's again just a little lift of the throttle. And then watch it again. Look, it's just extending up to 0.3 of a second, 3.5 of a second, and then by the time he's cornering, because the aero package that McLaren has compared to the BMW, which is more made for straight line speed, yeah, it was starting to pull away just that little bit. So that's why I kind of insinuated that it was a bit of fuel saving for the BMW. But yeah, 9 minutes left to go, left on the clock, and there won't be a lot of time left to do it if you are to do it, Steiner.
No, and look at Nathan Biggert, man. He is flying. He is up to 6th overall again now, and is well, we've got 9 minutes to go, and I guess he is now back within about 30 seconds of the leader or so, but 16 seconds behind second place. I think he can it's entirely possible that he could get back into, of course, the faster these cars are up the front, the harder they are to pass. But I think he's going to make up a couple more spots anyway. He'll certainly, I think, come away with the top 5 here.
Yeah, top 4 definitely looking likely. But that top 3 may be something to push on forward, but that will require every single ounce of effort that he can possibly get out of that Ford Mustang. And I do kind of just think that if there was maybe an opportunity to get past both cars a lap earlier, would that maybe have had a different outcome as he dropped that gap to exactly 5 seconds, tried to put it down in toward the 4-second range as well. But yeah, he's done a superb job. Just bearing in mind the penalty that he's had has been, so unfortunate to get. I think cut the entry to the pit lane after going a little bit wide in toward the entrance of the bus stop chicane, and yeah, that was kind of his demise. Meanwhile, we look at Cole Malley, who's getting set for his spa manicure in a couple of minutes' time. I'm sure he'll be dashing out the door, ready for that, and thinking, yeah, I've done 2 spas today. My racing spa and my relaxing spa. But yeah, Malley will be an absolute man on a mission if we do get him into the interview room. That will be absolutely brilliant, but I don't suspect so. In towards the Lecomte chicane, or not the Lecomte chicane, my apologies, the Piff Paff chicane, or some, I think some people call it the flip flap. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's actually a proper name for it.
I've never actually heard that ever. The flip flap. I've never heard that.
Well, it's actually called the Lefania chicane, but I think the locals call it the Piff Paff for some reasons. I think that's why it was kind of called in that one. And multiple black flags. Is that 2 black flags for Coy?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
2 black flags, and yeah, he's really trying to finish this race as quick as possible. 2 black flags is not ideally what you want here, as Ryan Sualik continues to lead out this one in the GT4 AMS ahead of Malley, but that is at half a second, and that is definitely one that's still not over just yet. 6 minutes to go. They're going to be contact with the McLaren.
Yeah, that's
just about got away with it.
That is Ryan Beaujolais coming through there. He's a man on a mission after his early incident. He's still trying to secure that 3rd place spot in the championship with Justin Bach is who he's battling with, and they are just a little bit over 100. No, not even 100 points apart. So that's actually something we probably need to look into here a little bit. So let's see. Beaujolais is now running in 5th place overall, 3rd place in class, but the way they score in this league is the GT3s are scored as a whole and the GT4s are scored as a whole, not separately by AM and Pro-Am. So Beaujolais 5th overall, and where is Justin Bach currently? He is 15th overall. That could be an interesting situation shaping up there.
It definitely could be, depending on their championship situation, because of course I do believe that will be Ryan Beaujolais potentially going up to 2nd in that GT3 Pro Championship. In terms of the Pro AMS for the GT3s, Kenneth Clodden will wrap up that title. I don't believe Jed Cotterman will go ahead of Brian Scott. Remember, Brian Scott is in this race in his own McLaren, so we'll have to have a.
He's in 12th place overall. Scott's in 12th place overall, and Cotterman is in 3rd place overall. That could be a pass in the points.
It could be very much so. but that would only mean, of course, the second knocked entirely a championship. Jed Klotterman came into this as
Right.
very much a outsider as well. But in terms of trying to get a second place, become a vice champion, yeah, Jed Klotterman maybe in the run in the GT4 AMS. Lance Campbell has wrapped that up. Cole Malley is looking to get second place in the championship, whilst the rookie Sierra, remember, has not turned up.
Oh,
and
no.
Delano,
Ryan Cerulic crashed out of first place.
Let's have a look at this one.
No, he's pitting. Oh, he does that to me every time.
Poor Jim.
I gotta say, yeah, the way this software works is it's set to a certain miles per hour, and they're still considered on the track until they cross the pit entry line. But you have to go so slow into pit entry, it's tricking the software into thinking they're crashing.
That's exactly what's been going on, because I had to cover a different league with Jim doing the production, and we discovered that at Manicourt as well. I think it was the hairpin down at turn 4. It became a place where they would be like, oh, there's somebody has crashed. Nope, it's just somebody moving very slowly through the hairpin, the tightest corner on the circuit, which is literally basically 180 degrees on itself.
Yeah, and yeah, that's another one. Also, the last turn at Long Beach is another one that triggers the software every single lap. Which we did. We did Long Beach in the IMSA series for this league this year, and yeah, every single lap, everybody crashed. It's pretty much the way the software saw it.
Maybe you'll have to go with Coles as Spa, kind of decompress yourself after a very stressful iRacing broadcast.
I'll somehow survive, I think. Maybe, possibly. So Lake and Shaw still running out here in front. But I'm trying to figure out if we're going to have how many laps we're going to have left here. Where is he at right now?
He's coming into Lillicombe chicane. I believe he is as well. So
should be the final lap then. This should be
the final lap.
All right. So what have we got developing out here? We've got Nathan Biggert is running out there by himself. Okay, so he's not going to catch Culloden, I don't think, unless there's a mistake. There. Yeah, I don't think so. Because Culloden is not. Yeah, Cotterman's not. I mean, Culloden's not going to push it here. He's just going to stay in behind Jed, and they're just going to roll to the finish, I think. Justin Bach is all by himself out there, unfortunately. So he's going to finish, it looks like, 15th overall unless something happens. And that would be 15th in class as well. Where is... Oh, wait a minute. Bajole. How did he get back to 12th?
Must have had a mistake.
Oh, he had to pit.
And he pitted as well.
He had to pit.
He did.
Okay. So that's going to change things, because now he and Bach are only 3 places apart.
Indeed they are. And Leighton Short is going to come up to the line of the checker flag. Will fly. And Leighton Short comes across the line to win here at Spa. But the main question is, what is happening with Ryan Bajole? But there is Leighton Short to round off the season with a victory. That is a big win indeed. Scott Padrone will finish 25 seconds behind Leighton Shore. He'll be chased down by Nathan Biggert, but it will not come to fruition in the end. Scott Padrone will take second. Jed Klotterman looks absolutely delighted with himself, because he takes the first place in the GT3 Pro-Am alongside our brand new GT3 Pro-Am champion Kenneth Clotted. A fantastic result for him, and he's just pushing the Ford Mustang all the way towards Eau Rouge and Raidillon. It looks like Tyler Richard will take home P4 in the pros ahead of David Steiner. And then, of course, Jacob Kotterman will take P3. Meanwhile, Cole Malley, he was set for a Spa. It's going to be a Spa win. And a brilliant end this race for Cole Malley, who wins GT4 AM. A superb run for him. And my word, that Ford Mustang GT4 has had a superb debut here in iRacing. Meanwhile, Tyler Hammonds will be defending here, hoping to try and maybe keep a second place, but it just wasn't it for the Mercedes. It will be Ryan Suralik who will come across the line to take a Ford Mustang GT4 1-2 ahead of Hammonds, ahead of Nance in his GT4 taped in Bilstein. Edward Delano becomes our GT4 rookie as well. Fantastic effort from him as he shows off his fantastic setup. Edward, can I come over and have a go? That looks absolutely surreal. Oh, he's waving at us. He's waving at us.
Yeah, he messaged me tonight and asked me he wanted to put his camera on for the last race. All right, so let's see. All right, let's see what we got going on. I'm going to have to drag people in, I think, because I don't think you can.
Let's see if I have the... no, I don't have the permissions.
Yeah, I figured that. Let's see. Let's clear all this off. Let's go look at our results real quick. Go over that. And then we'll
have a look at the results first before we go into the interviews. And it's Lakershaw who will be your winner.
There you go.
No worries about that. Scott Padrone will take second. Meanwhile, in the overall, Jed Kotterman takes home third ahead of Kenneth Codded. A fantastic result for those two guys to put themselves into an overall podium, especially for Jed. And of course their own class podium. Nathan Biggets will be home in P5 ahead of Tyler Richard, who comes home in sixth ahead of Jacob Kotterman. Fantastic race there for the Kotterman iRacing team. David Steiner will be home in eighth ahead of Tristan Richard, the Canadian for the Can-Am Motorsports team. Brian Scott rounds out your top 10 with Marc Ogier and Ryan Berjole. Both drivers had a very, very tough race today. Then we find Thomas Hidalgo after his tow back to the pits after losing fuel. He'll finish 13th, but the Argentine has got a big amount of promise as well going for him. We'll hopefully see him come next season. John Swan will be rounding out the 14th, and then the 15th car in the GT3 will be Justin Bock. Unfortunately for him, not the best way to end out the season. Move on to the GT4s. Cole Malley will be your winner ahead of Ryan Sawalik, and Tyler Hammond will be your podium sitters in that GT4 amateur class. And Daniel Nance, the American ahead of Lance Campbell in his Aston Martin. A very difficult race for him. Then we find our winner in the GT4 rookies with Edward Delano for the High Point Racing team, with Ryan Miller and Aidan Keeley, with Christopher Coy, and then our retirements of Jared McKee, Patrick Rich, Daniel Pino, the Chilean, and James Langevin, the Canadian, rounding out the 28 cars that took to the grid. This is something that I've kind of realized here as we were going through this. I'm the bad luck charm for Nathan Biggett. Both times I've covered on this championship, and he hasn't won. We talk about this. Oh, Nathan Biggett's domination. Nathan Biggett has been so dominant. He's won all these races, but every single time I've been on here, he has not won. He has made a mistake and not won a race.
Yeah, he's gonna definitely have a problem with you for sure. No doubt about it.
Nathan, I am so sorry. I'll have a meeting with these guys.
So I'm going to drag Jed Cotterman in first for a couple of reasons. First, he was our Pro-Am winner tonight, and so I'm going to pull him in for being the Pro-Am winner, but he's also the director of the league, so there's a few other issues that I want to address real quick. Congratulations, first of all. Apparently, I didn't jinx you since you could hear me during the race, and you did manage to still stay up front, even though you were listening to me.
Well, to be honest, I couldn't hear you, but I could see you.
Uh,
So
yeah.
I kept looking up every now and then I saw me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wave just for shits and giggles and try to have some fun with it, man. But
So
uh,
congratulations.
thank you.
I know
It was well fought.
yes, yeah, yeah, and I, again, you've had your struggles this year, and I've obviously been, well aware of that as we've talked all year long, every week. Um, so congratulations on putting it together there, the last race of the season. And I got to believe that, you work on your consistency a little bit, and you're going to be a strong contender next season. You've certainly shown that you have the ability to bring these cars home in even in podium positions amongst the pro drivers. So, I think it's your consistency, and you're gonna once you tighten that up a little bit, you're gonna be extremely competitive. So,
I appreciate that, Jim. I am definitely my biggest drawback, if you will.
but that's part of the maturation process. That's how
No,
it
no,
works.
absolutely, yeah. So, the I got my first couple wins the start of the season, and I actually had to kind of go back and recoach myself and be like, okay, like smooth in, fast out instead of running, all out the whole race. Like I had to kind of self teach myself patience, and then kudos to Justin Bach. I mean, he's been somebody that I've spent a lot of time talking to and practicing with, and for there's 4 tracks for next season that I've already started practicing: Algarve and what's the other one? Imola, that I didn't even own until the other day, and he's really been helping me with that. So man, I'm trying, Jim. I absolutely love the league. My practice time is very limited with Jacobs golf and baseball and work. Um,
Yeah, it was
but
good to see him in here for the last race with his camera on. I know.
yeah, we had to rebuild his PC, and I had to get everything set up. Then we had these monster iRacing updates, and I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
oh boy, turn
yeah.
your
Mine
computer on,
was
dude.
mine was 116 gigabytes, man.
Yeah, we were at 92. I was like, wow, good thing for high speed internet. I think it only took 16 minutes, but
Whoa.
nevertheless, I'm kind of glad it's over. Now I'm wondering what I'm going to do next Wednesday. But
Well,
man,
y'all
I
don't
tell
have
you,
you don't have that long of a break, man. Like what, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something? It's not
yeah,
long.
yeah. September 24th at Sebring,
Yeah, yeah. In fact,
and
here I'll pop the
yeah.
schedule up real quick just while we're chatting about it. For anybody that doesn't know, that's the coming schedule, and we've got two little different situations. We got 2 races that are 90 minutes this coming season at Le Mans at the halfway point, and then closing out the season at Daytona with a 90-minute race. And we all know the drama that occurred at Daytona earlier this year. So if we can catch any of that kind of action again, it'll be fantastic. So I love what y'all did there. I only have one opinion about the schedule, but I'll keep it to myself.
Well, we can
No,
we can talk when we don't have such an audience. It's good. I
no,
oh
I know, no.
I know what you're gonna say. I think we've already had that
we
chat.
we have. I got shut down hard by the
Yeah.
big
I know.
boss.
I know. My bad, bud. My bad.
No, no.
But if I can, real quick, I know you got a lot of guys to talk to, but
Well,
man, I want to give a shout out to you, Hamish, all the guys that have filled in. Adam, is Adam with you
yeah,
tonight?
yeah. Adam's the one
Yeah,
here
Adam's
tonight. Yeah.
there. So, dude, you guys kill it, and I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to you. Like everybody in the league compliments you guys. We all go back and watch it. We learn from the broadcasts. You guys just your personalities and the way you guys just work together, dude. It's awesome.
Well,
And everybody that's in the league that has showed up week after week, man, we wouldn't have a league if it wasn't for all the drivers. And I've never forgotten that since day one. And I do my best to make sure everything is clean, respectful, and fair. Those are my three, three things that I don't budge too much on. And from week one till now, man, we have come so far.
yes.
And I think the racing and the respect has gotten to the point where we can just show up, we can be super competitive, but man, we can have fun. And to me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of leagues, and there's a lot of drama here and there, different leagues and stuff. I have to say, for the size fields that we've had all year, short of a couple of little minor incidents with some overtaking, situations, and I think that we address that issue for next year with the speed of these two classes. We're a little too close together to promote quick overtakes, and we've talked about that. And other than that, we've had very little drama in this league, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot about the way it's run. So congratulations to you and Carlos for that. I do know that for the most part, that's more your thing, and he kind of oversees the big picture of all the leagues, kind of thing.
Yeah. Wednesday's my baby, but everybody's got Big Brother, and Carlos and I work really well together. Ultimately he does have the final say, and there's some times where we have to agree to disagree, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, well, I will say that joining High Point has been good for this league. You get phenomenal fields, phenomenal drivers, some of which came with you, some of which were already here. The combination has been fantastic. These two series feed off of each other. You got guys crossing over from both, a lot of great drivers, all of that. So, but yeah, we are going to move on, but there's two things real quick. Is there any way that you can set up Adam so that he can drag people in? Because we're going to have a few to drag in, and I need to find highlights on these guys. If you could set that up quickly. And secondly, is there any update on these few championship battles that were left? I'm assuming, obviously, did you pass Brian Scott? Do you know that or not?
Yes, I will have taken P2.
Okay.
Kenneth is going to be your
of course, yeah,
your champion there.
And
then honestly, the other ones, I would have to look myself too. I didn't really come
so
prepared.
Justin Bach and Ryan Bajole, they finished 5 or 6 places apart, and they were less than 100 points apart. If you could, maybe check on that and let us possibly know in a few minutes, maybe, or something, just so we know how that's going to settle out, just so we can let everybody know. And that'd be awesome.
I'll try to look at that now.
I don't know. Does it update that fast or no? Probably not, huh?
Well, I think it should actually. Let's see here, man. With this new UI, it's like
I know
trying to navigate a little bit, but
I like it. It's just you just got to get used to it, I tell you what, I'm going to leave you in here for right now, and I'm going to go ahead and pull somebody else in, and you can check on that. And I'm going to pull Cole Malley in for a couple of reasons, which you'll hear in a second. But let me pull him in.
I'll mute myself. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. All right, we got Cole Malley in here with us. The banker. Apparently, this is he's been the banker. He's been the chemistry teacher. He's been Bill Nye the Science Guy. You've had a few characters this season. And first of all, before we get into any of that, I want to tell you that as the race was ending, I did the whole little prize thing for the digital race engineer package, where I put everybody had a number, and I spun the thing, and you actually won the digital race engineer package for the season. So we'll talk about that at a later point in time, but congratulations on that. That was strictly a blind draw situation Didn't have anything to do with how you finished or any of that. That was just luck of the draw. So,
Okay.
yeah, congratulations
Well,
on
thank
that.
you.
But now, as far as the race tonight, congratulations. But I have to say, first and foremost, I just want to thank you for the way you've played along this year. It's been absolutely fantastic, and it's been so much fun. Hamish and I have absolutely had a blast at your expense, and you were a good sport, played right along with the whole thing, and it was just it's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate that. Makes the broadcast all that much better, and it certainly makes us have fun.
Absolutely. This is a show at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. And it's it's good that you've played along. It certainly got you plenty more TV time too.
Sure.
If you had real sponsors on that car, they'd be thrilled with you, because you're getting as much TV time as the leaders sometimes, just because we like having fun with the outfits,
Absolutely.
But yeah, congratulations tonight though. Closed out the season pretty strong there. And what did you think of the new Mustang? Did you like it?
Oh man, it's tough because I really love the Mustang, but I'm still not sold on the new GT4 model. So I think there's two sides to look at that.
I mean, you haven't had, you've had 2 days, literally 2 days. There were people that hated that GT3 model for weeks, before they came to grips with it. I think, once you get some more time with it, I think you'll be fine. From everything that I've heard, I watched, what's the guy's name? The pro driver that drives for Mercedes. Can't think of his name now. Daniel Morad. Yeah, Morad.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Daniel Morad. I watched his video, and he said that he was a big part of the development of the AMG update for the new model, and he said the cars drive a lot more realistic now. And so in the overall spectrum of things, I think what happened was a good thing, and it will be in the long term for these cars. And he actually drove the Mustang at the end of that video, and he could not stop raving about how good it felt and how fast it was. So I think once you get to grips with this new GT4 update, I think you're really going to like that car.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, we got a few other champions to crown and whatnot tonight. So, but again, congratulations. And by the way, congratulations on second place in the GT4 championship as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. You've had a good season, and we've had a lot of fun with you. So, let's keep that going for next year. It's going to be challenging though, because eventually, my my costume requests are going to get crazier and crazier as time goes on. There's no telling. You might be driving as Wonder Woman before it's over with in an invisible car. Who knows what might happen? Oh my
goodness!
But hey, man, congratulations again, and again, thanks for all the fun this year.
Of course. Thank you guys for everything. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So Justin is going to finish second, 57 points ahead of Ryan. Okay,
cool. All right. Awesome. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. You want me to, can you get yourself out of here? I got you. Adam, does Adam have permission now to drag or no?
I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
That's all right. I'll keep doing it. All right. So let's see. Oh, you do? Okay. Well, who are we dragging in now? Let's pull Edward Delano in real quick, and we'll congratulate him because he's had a heck of a run here at the end of the season.
Yeah, let me just move him up.
Maybe you don't.
I do. It's just there's a bit of a gap.
You got a gap. All right, I got it. Don't worry about it. Mine's set up where it's right above. Here he is.
Hey,
how you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. How are you today?
Good. First of all, congratulations. You had a good run tonight, and overall, you've had a good run for the season. This has certainly been. So, that's a question actually. So, since you switched to the Mustang, Will that negate your points for the season?
You get to keep your points, but I didn't get to gain any points. So I did a bunch of math yesterday, and there was no way I'd catch Carlos Sierra unless I got first place against all the pros and everything, and that just wasn't going to happen. So I just showed up at the thing to have some fun.
Okay, that's good. And I mean, let's be real. Carlos, overall for the season he probably deserved, to win that rookie title. I mean, he had a good year, and but you came on strong last month of the season. Apparently, my dog is a big fan too, because he's back here just howling away for you. But no, you. I mean, you really picked it up at the end of the season, man. Your consistency, and I don't know what exactly to attribute that to. I'm going to say, first and foremost, probably the amount of hours that you put in racing between this and the other series. You've got that's a lot of hours of racing and practice in this year. So you obviously are going to improve under those conditions. But what'd you think of the new Mustang tonight?
Wow, man!
I know you loved it. I knew that.
It's awesome. Just like Cole said, we got to figure out this new tire model because that's a little weird.
Yeah, you'll get that. I mean, again, that's going to make those cars more realistic, which is going to make it overall better experience in the long run. But I didn't even need to ask that question. I knew you were going to love that Mustang. It didn't matter how it drove. You were still going to love it because you just love that car. So, because you certainly have driven it in the other series, and it's that thing is an animal to drive in the GT3 category, and you certainly had your fair share of issues with it being tail happy, and you didn't bother to try to switch cars because you love that Mustang so much. So I knew you were going to love this one.
Quite impressive.
Yeah, no, from everything that I've heard, I've got it, but I haven't had a chance to drive it yet. But watching Daniel Morad talk about it, he is as loyal of a Mercedes AMG guy as he'll ever be, and he's a pro driver for those guys. And for the fact that he was just could not stop talking about how fantastic that Mustang drove and how competitive it was going to be in the GT4 class. So I knew it was going to be good just for him to be that fired up about it, because that's not his style. He would normally AMG this and AMG that.
Yeah. So, Morad, he's a good driver for sure. I love
oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and he's one of those guys that he's good at what he does professionally, and he's a sim racer too. He sometimes maybe a little full of himself, but that's another story entirely. But nevertheless, he really gave this car a great review. So I'll be curious to see how you guys get on with it once y'all figure this new tire model and physics model out. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to some of these other champions we got out here for tonight. But congratulations again. And also, I'll get with you on that IMSA thing that we talked about earlier in the next day or two.
Yeah. Awesome. I very much appreciate that. And thank you guys so much for having an awesome broadcast all season. All around, everybody's broadcast you guys do is always really cool. So,
did you see my message I sent you earlier real quick? The last one, it was you were already driving, practicing, but I told you need to work on that wheel, man. You got too much wheel turn in that car. You go completely hands over on that car. You need to have
it on 540.
You need to jack it up to about 650 to 750, and don't put so much. You get your hands on top of each other. It's hard to recover from that. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Try it out when you got some weeks off here and see what you think.
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys. Be good.
All right, buddy. All right, let's pull let's see here. Let's see, Lakenshaw. All right. Yeah, I'm lost here for a second. Let's pull Lakin in real quick and congratulate him on tonight. That was a heck of a win. All right, Lakin, you got a copy on?
How you doing,
here?
Gentlemen?
Good, man. So I have to say I did not see this one coming. I'm not going to lie to you. You've had a good year, both series, you've been a pretty consistent driver. You've definitely found a little more pace over the year, but this one caught me a little off guard. I was shocked where you qualified, to be honest. So you clearly had pace even before this race. You surprised me. There was, as there's some beast in this series. There's some fast guys. So when you qualified, third or fourth or something up there, I was like, wow,
Fourth,
yeah.
Fourth, yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. And then, and then as it turns out, through a circumstance and a series of events, you put yourself into the lead with a long way to go in the race. And probably the most impressive part of that is that you didn't let that affect you, knowing that all these fast guys were behind you. And you maintained your composure, which when you get in front of a field like this, that's arguably the hardest thing to do, because as soon as you get up there, all you're thinking about is, God, don't screw this up, man. Oh, hell, he's closing on me. He's gaining a second a lap. What am I going to do? And
100%.
So
thank you very much. I just want to say I will allot that to a lot of endurance racing. And it's just basically keeping your composure throughout the whole race, because if you push too hard, you make a mistake. It's very costly for those long time races. And Daniel Pino, shout out to Pino, he's been a huge help.
Well, if I understand right, he came over here. He came over here to help some of the drivers in this series as well, I think, because Daniel, I know, is a helpful guy. And yeah, Lord knows he's fast for sure. Holy cow. Yeah. It was so funny to see him out there kind of struggling a little bit in that Aston Martin tonight. It was quite funny. And, he clearly couldn't, he didn't pick it up as fast as I thought he would, to be honest. I kind of figured Daniel's one of those guys, you could throw him in anything and he'd win in it,
Yeah.
But
it's one of those it's one of those cars, though. It's going to take a hot minute for people to figure out, just because of the brake bias is so far forward, the traction control, especially on a fixed setup. It's so easy to spin that car out. It's
he did.
Heavy.
Yeah,
right. So it's a mixture of all those things. So he'll fine tune it. He'll get it.
Oh, I doubt very seriously he stays in that car. I
don't know.
I think he's going to stick with that Mercedes, man. He's diehard Mercedes ever since he left the Lamborghini a few seasons ago, but, and why would you change as fast as he is in that Mercedes, unless he gets bopped hard or something, but to be honest, the Aston Martin is as close to the Mercedes probably as we have of all these cars, because of that longer nose, as opposed to the BMW like you drive is not quite as long a nose. Even though it's a front engine car, it still handles quite differently than the Mercedes does.
Yeah. Well, me hopping in the Beamer tonight, the new Evo setup.
Is that just
it was just a last minute thing. I threw it around Nords yesterday.
Yeah.
And I set a new PR at Nordschleife. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to mix it up for the last race, because I knew I was nowhere near points.
Right.
I just wanted to run a good race, finish the season off on a high note. And
you might have found a home.
yeah. Something close to it. I'm also a Merc fanboy, so we'll see.
Yeah, but you certainly look. You had the pace tonight. I would have never thought you were going to qualify top 4 with this crew.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Again, no offense to you in any way.
No, not taken.
There's some beast in this field, and you killed it, man. So congratulations again. It's been fun watching you in both series this season, and I look forward to next season.
Cheers. Yeah, I wasn't sure about next season, honestly. I got a pretty busy schedule right now, but after the win tonight, I think I'm going to try and make it work.
Make it happen, man. No, whatever you can do, because it's been fun watching you in both of them, so I really hope you do stay around.
I got to say to you guys, awesome job all year long. I literally go back and I watch the stream every Wednesday when it's done. The jokes, the camaraderie you guys have between the picking fun at the drivers and stuff like that, it just adds that little bit to it.
Well, that's my
I don't
personality.
Think anybody takes it too serious. Well, but you know what? That's kind of what you need, especially for something like this.
Well,
so,
what's funny is
great job.
the true story about that is Hamish and I have worked together for other companies as well. That's how we met originally, and we always felt like we hit it off. And we actually got fired from a league because they didn't like the fact that we that we did the jokes and stuff. They didn't like the fact that we weren't 100% race. But look, man,
right.
you can't cover a race like this when every car is 1 to 2 seconds apart and not have something to fill the time, you know?
Yeah.
And they just didn't get that, and they they thought that so they asked that we be replaced. And
I'm sorry to hear that, honestly.
Well, no, I mean, well, that's part of the reason that I started my own thing, because I feel like that part of my strength is my personality and having fun with people, just like, with Cole and, all the guys through the season, and Jed and, all of them. And, and just even Nathan, we call him now the Amish Mustang, But anyway,
shout out to Nathan too for that win this season, man. He killed it all season.
So, but all right, man, I'm going to move on. But again, it was good talking to you, and please come back next year and race with us for sure.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Bye now.
All right. Let's get Kenneth Culloden in here. Kenneth, sorry that took so long, man. I was having to say all my season goodbyes to everybody. And, so I'm, me, I go on and on as it is anyway, but, congratulations, man. What a year you had. You definitely had a good run this season, and it was fun watching you. Look like from time to time tonight you were sitting back there debating, do I take this dive at Jed, or do I sit here and make sure I win this points championship?
Yeah, I definitely thank you again. Congratulations, and thank you guys. You've guys done an awesome awesome broadcast all season. I cannot wait to get off and go watch it tonight. So I want to thank you guys. But yeah, me and Jed raced clean. I was a little disappointed because I got taken out in turn 1 during the race, and I had 3 cars between me and Jed. And I try to race clean. I don't do dirty stuff, but I keep my bumper wide. You got to pass me honestly. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to move under braking. I'm predictable. And with Jed, we race hard. I didn't want to risk taking him out. I knew, I just basically had to show up. I wouldn't lose the championship, but I want to race him honest. I want to pass him honest. I want to, set it up. I didn't want to force a car in there on him. So,
right.
I mean, and he was fast tonight. I couldn't, I was fast.
Jed's fast. No doubt.
100%. And I was faster in some parts, but I couldn't accelerate with him out of the corners. That Mustang just
that's
so hard.
The problem is if you were in front of him, the way your McLaren brakes, you could have possibly stayed ahead of him, because you could late brake him into the turns. But to try to pass him, being that all the heavy braking zones follow a straightaway where he's got the opportunity with that heavy horsepower to pull away from you.
Yep. But I didn't want to do the dirty thing, trying to pass him, diving on him. We race each other clean. We understand each other. So we had, I don't know with the broadcast if you were, in on us, but for the last 25 minutes, we were just,
well, you were honestly,
my headset pouring sweat.
that part of the race, everybody had kind of spread out. There was some pit road penalties and whatnot and things. And so everybody kind of spread out. And honestly, there for a good portion of that, you'll find during the broadcast that y'all were primary focus there for a good bit of that section, because you were the closest battle on track, and so, we stayed with you when it was, there was somebody else in the mix with you guys there briefly too.
Well, his son.
Oh, Jacob. Jacob. Yeah.
I told Jed when we were waiting to come on through the broadcast, I said, you owe your son something because he held me off for a while and got you a couple second lead for a while. And he didn't stop racing me. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And the same thing, I want to keep it clean between him. He kept it clean, but he raced me hard. He made me work.
Well, Jacob's come a long way too this season, and he's not in here for conversations, but I want to shout out to him and just say,
definitely,
and especially with this kind of schedule he has with golf and baseball and all the things that he does, to be able to improve the way he has this year. I remember when, he was just constantly struggling at the beginning of the season, and here towards the end, he's passing fast guys, and I mean, he even tried to throw a little crossover move on you there. You saw it coming though, but the fact that he's developed that, I mean, he would have just dive bombed you in the beginning of the season,
Yes, and you know what? It's actually funny because sometimes, like, as the season start, like, I was like, I can, he's an easy pass, and it's not, like, so it is. It is fun to see. Like, we've all gotten faster, we've all progressed, and that's that's the great part about it. This is like my favorite race night, like, in High Point racing. I wish Carlos was in here. I told, like, the racing, I said, it's the funnest night. It
really is. It's the funnest to broadcast too. Nothing against the IMSA league. I love it and everything, but the fact that that we're in 2 classes instead of 3, with the concentration of these drivers, it's just been really fun to broadcast this year, and like I said, you've been entertaining in both leagues as well. In the GTPs, right? Yeah. You drive.
I have my points. Some nights I'm good in the GTPs, and some nights I shouldn't be on the track.
That's a tough car, man. I mean, that is a tough car to drive, and especially if you make your bread and butter here in these GT3s, because these cars and those cars, there's nothing about them that drives the same. Nothing. About the only thing is they race on similar tracks. That's about the extent of what's similar about them. I mean, just between the way they brake and the way they accelerate and the tires and everything. So
totally different animal.
Yeah. I mean, and look, that's a tough crowd over there to race GTPs with anyway.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be a little more competitive. I am switching up a car. The Ferrari wasn't a fast car.
No,
I've been experimenting with some other cars, and I'm definitely, not up there with the top 2 guys, but I've definitely picked up some pace to where I think I can, You
switching to the Acura or what?
Yeah, either Acura or Porsche. I haven't decided, but I'm feeling good with the Acura.
The Porsche is consistent for sure, but I think overall the Acura in the right hands is the fastest car still.
Yes, I agree. I feel good in it, and I ran some pretty fast lap times in it, like on tracks that I've practiced. I was like, 3 seconds a lap faster than a Ferrari. So definitely felt a lot better in the car. Hopefully it transfers next season, like, in 2 weeks whenever we start.
Well, you got there's some beasts over there too, man. You got you got guys whose dad's a freaking pro race engineer, and I mean, there's some tough guys.
Disadvantage.
I mean, it's good though. I mean, we all need those kind of guys. That's exactly what made all of you faster over here, is the fact that Nathan and Daniel and Steiner and and Jed,
Lakin,
for that matter, Lakin, sure. Boy, Lakin surprised me tonight.
Lakin's fast. Yeah, I mean, Ryan
Bajole, that's another one that another fast one.
And I finished in front of those guys tonight. I don't know what happened, but finally, I was like, you know what? I almost had a podium, and a legit podium. So.
Yeah, you did good. Yeah. I mean, you had a good run. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna get out of here.
I want to give out 2 shout outs.
Sure. Yeah.
So one's to my son-in-law. It's his birthday this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday. And then also he opened his dental office. So he's the owner of his own dental office here in New Jersey. So if any of you guys need any dental work, I know a guy. If you're around New Jersey.
Forget about it. I know a guy.
Yeah, it's going to be called Smile Theory. And then I want to give a shout out again to my grandson. His birthday Sunday. He's going to be 3 years old, and he loves, like I told you last time, all types of racing. He loves monster trucks. So like tomorrow when he gets out of preschool, I'll go after work and I'll sit down and we'll watch this, and he'll, there's Pop Pop. Look at Pop Pop. So it's
that's good.
What it's all about, having a good time. And
start
I want to
young,
thank you guys.
Put him in a go-kart when he's 5, you know.
Well, he rides around with his dad. His dad's got a pretty nice car. So I lost my seat in it. It's a Porsche. So it used to be my seat, but now the baby seat's in there, and he goes on the car cruises with his dad. So
that's awesome.
It's a good thing to do.
Well, we appreciate.
Again, I want to thank you guys. You guys did an awesome job. I can't wait. 2 weeks, whatever, till the new season starts. Want to thank Carlos and Jed for putting on, a great league and great racing. So thank you guys.
I agree. All right, man. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you next season.
Definitely, I'm going to get a little more practice, and I want to try to be, try to get up there with the fastest of them. So we'll see.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Good night. Good night, gentlemen.
All right. So, well, I was going to drag Jacob in, but we've gone way over it. It's incredibly late for you. I'm gonna dispose of this and let you go to bed. So first of all, you're probably already about to drift over there with me over here just talking away. So again, thanking everybody for the season and stuff. But thank you. You bailed me out both times that you came this year and helped me out. I definitely appreciate it. And so thank you again for showing up, and just thank everybody for watching us this year. It's been a great season, a lot of fun. This is a great league, and I just want to thank everybody, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks when the new season starts. So thanks again.